By a raise of hands, who here has strangled somebody with a north-south strangle? Good, that's the majority. Who here has strangled somebody with a north-south strangle without the feeling like they're squeezing somebody's head off? That's still pretty damn good. Okay, never mind. Class is over.
Who's using it in competition?
What's that? Who's used? Yeah, has anybody used it in competition? No, perfect. Good question. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm pretty sure you guys know already, but I try to teach things painless, precise, and playful, right? Like, I don't try to squeeze things. I don't try to force things. If they're there, cool. If not, cool. North-south is one of those strangles that can get a bad rap. And there are some nuances to it that make it that way, but hopefully at the end of this class we will all be able to strangle somebody with them feeling like, whoa, right, as opposed to, wah! Make sense? That didn't make sense to me, so anybody that just said that made sense is fucking lying. Alan. Okay. Let's rotate you here. The camera is going to have a great view the whole time.
We have access to this footage, right?
There you go. Okay. First things first, I'm going to show what we're not trying to do. Okay? Sorry, buddy. It's part of the gig. What we're not trying to do is, one, come in with any sort of flexed bicep. Okay, I'm just going to show. So if I get here and I drop my weight on his face and I just squeeze his head, how does that feel? Wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah. We get sometimes a little overzealous, right? We isolated a head, cool, and now we're just going to squeeze. And you can tap people like that. It's just not precise. So with most of my strangles, I try to come in with a wet noodle. Or I imagine my arm like that. So I'm not like, oh shit. Oh shit. That was neither painless or precise.
I think they got the point not to do that.
So I'm not doing that. So because that's not necessarily the reaction I'm looking for. I'm trying to non-flexed arm figure out a way to move my body so my bicep can have good contact with the neck. That to me is the most important thing. If I don't have good contact with the neck, or I can't feel good contact with the neck, even if there's just a little bit, I know I'm close, I don't go for it. Okay, I need to have this contact. Let me rotate here. Now the viewers get a great shot of my butt. This contact, okay? I'd like everybody to look at the angle of my bicep, right? We're trying to attack these arteries. We're trying to compress those arteries. If my bicep is like this, and I would go to squeeze, I'm going to hit the side of his neck. If I have the correct angle here of my bicep, as I come in like this, now I know that artery is taken care of. So that's number one. Make sense? That's where a lot of people are going to go wrong. So we're going to wet noodle. I have to pee all of a sudden. Thank you. We're going to wet noodle our arm on one side of the neck. Okay, we're going to make that contact. The other side of the neck is going to end up being my lat. Okay, but I'm going to worry about that in a second. Wet noodle through, and look at my body. You see how my body, I'm not on my knees, I'm down low. Okay, nice contact. If he moves his neck in any way, I'm just going to follow. It's just going to be there. Okay, loosey-goosey. Okay, so now my weight is currently on him, which I do not want. Okay, I want to compress, right? I don't want to extend. I want to compress. So what I'm going to do is shift down. Okay? So, this is a weird one to teach, because I have to have my back to you a lot. This one side of the V that's cutting off here, this, the other side. So watch how that, Nick likes to talk about puzzle pieces, right? So watch how it kind of fits as a puzzle. So loosey-goosey, right? Everybody see that? Okay. So I have good connection there. My lap makes that good connection on the other side. I think Jay was talking yesterday on an arm triangle. He's like, if you need the secondary hand, you're probably doing it wrong, right? That's give or take. Not quoting you exactly, but give or take. Same type of thing here, okay? So now that I have the good connection, so now I'm being precise with this north-south, I need to figure out a way to compress, okay? In all strangles, how I view it at least, in all strangles, I'm trying to take the hose of the artery and kink it, right? If we were playing with our friends when we were kids on the playground and some idiot friend looked at the hose like, why isn't this working? And then you let go of the kink and it goes, you know? Yep, Josh is like, yeah, I did that.
Another kid.
Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to kink it in some way. And if we can't kink it, we want to compress everything to make everything it was surviving in this space to make it a smaller space. Okay, that will also compress. So, since I'm not trying to squeeze his head off, which, by the way, once you get that connection, you kind of can. But let's not do that to each other, because we want to drill this nicely. And we want to be precise. So once we get into that position, we find it, I'm going to use my weight, as opposed to like squeeze. Like I said, I could finish this here. But I'm going to drop my weight right onto this artery. And I'm going to do it slow. So I have that connection, I got that puzzle piece, and now watch. Currently, actually let's do a little test. Where is my weight currently?
On his shoulder.
A little bit, but where's the majority of my weight?
In your hips.
Correct. All right, where's the majority of my weight? Where's the majority of my weight? So I'm getting into that position, right? Look. Like it was a nail. I'm taking all that weight and dropping it right on that artery. Not squeezing, just dropping it, okay? Wet noodle, make that contact at the correct angle. Back to puzzle piece, drop weight, and guess where my elbow is going to go? Strangle side elbow.
Not home.
It's definitely not going to go home, and it's definitely not going to go to the grocery store. Sorry, Nick. You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. All I'm going to do is lightly bring it home after I drop that weight. Okay, so let's see if it's true. No squeeze, no. Precise connection, precise connection. Drop the weight, which is also going to be a problem that we're going to have. Okay. Drop the weight, and then just actively bring that home. Look what happens when I actively bring that home. Right? So his neck was here, puzzle pieced in. Does that make sense? Enough to give it a try. Let's give it a try. All right, 1, 2, 3. A good job of getting our bicep, our noodles, at the correct angle here. Okay? And we're also doing a nice job of kind of sitting back to find that puzzle piece. Here's where a lot of us are going wrong. When I say drop weight, I kind of want to stay square, and I'm dropping like that.
You're okay.
Okay? What a lot of people are doing is, and makes sense, but they're dropping weight by turning their hip. Okay? When you drop weight by turning your hip, let's see if we can rotate just a little bit so the camera can get that. All right, there we go. When you drop weight turning your hip, what do you see here? It's artery. So you're giving him a rather painful, but way out. Right? Because I could drop weight here and this is going to suck. I already surprised him once. So what I need to do is I need this, all this, to come down. And remember, then I'm dropping my weight not turning like this, but like this. Okay. Am I explaining the difference? Probably half of you were doing that. So that's my bad. Okay. So we're going to get back into it again. Just by a show of hands so I understand who's really struggling with it. By show of hands, who was able to get it in a painless way? Kind of half-half. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. All right. So I want to make sure, before we answer all the questions that are going to come up, I want to make sure that we can do the basic one. Because if you do the basic one, if you can do it in a painless way, all the rest is great. Cheese curds. All right. So as the partner, there's some questions about neck positions that Alan was just going to bring up. As the partner, just stay like this, exactly how he is. Just try to do that for now, okay? Try to drop that weight through the neck, but not rotate the body, giving them an out, okay? Let's get some more reps on that, and then we'll go on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Good time so far? Yeah, we're doing okay. We're not hurting our partners at all. We're doing okay? Okay. When learning how to strangle, I can't think of anything more important than discussing with your partner, how was that strangle? Really in jiu-jitsu in general. I mean, here at White Lotus, that's what we really base everything on, is this discussion, right? Like I got Nick in a north-south choke. Like, hey, how was that? He's like, I was kind of cranked my neck. Fuck. Okay, well now I know I need to work on that. That's not a tap for me. That's some bullshit, right? Or vice versa. Like, yeah, that was beautiful. Okay, good, right? And as we're drilling, that same thing. Like, well, how was that? The one you did last time was fucking, it was just perfect. And this one, like, felt a little weird. Okay, let's work through that, right? We need that feedback. The better the information that we have, the better the decision making can be. That's in life and in jiu-jitsu, okay? Now, how do I want to show this? Okay, actually rotate like this, right towards Josh. I know that he was really, yeah, perfect.
There you go, Josh.
Okay, so let's deal with some what ifs, right? So now I feel pretty confident that the majority of you have an understanding of what to do and have at least done it once. Some people, get it immediately. It's okay, we have something to drill with. Now, what can happen? Okay, the first thing that can happen, and where most people mess up, is this strangle arm not making connection with the neck. I'm just telling you, that's what's going to happen, okay? So wherever you want to set this up, like he comes up, boom, I'm like this. I know currently that I don't have a connection with the neck. So I'm going to leave it alone, but I'm not going to leave it alone, okay? So because I didn't have that connection, I'm going to try to bait movement to get a better connection. I can also try to force my way in. The problem is when you use force, they tense up as well. When you tense up, they tense up. Makes sense? We try to mirror each other. Okay? If he tenses up and goes like this, well, it's going to be really tough to get that connection, right? So I'd rather be a noodle and have him fuck up than me force something. And plus, if you're rolling with somebody that's twice as strong as you, good luck forcing them to do anything, right? Not a problem Nick has, but for me it's different. Okay, so if I don't make this connection right away, I'll keep weight on, probably grab an arm, so like rotation, but I'm gonna move. I'll move out of it even, right? But when I move out of it, let's see, maybe I can teach it this way a little bit better. My biggest struggle is how to teach it to everybody at the weird angles, right? So I was here, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a gap. I can feel that I don't have it where I want to be. There's a gap there, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of move around, and as I move around, maybe I lift up his head, maybe not, but look what I just did. He can feel it. It's tough to see. And again, there's a lot of nuanced things in this. But what I did is I utilized my body in a non-threatening way, a non-threatening energy. I utilized my body to get that connection. Okay, and I know this is going to be very weird. Now I sound like a hippie teaching jiu-jitsu. People mirror you, okay? If you're going balls out, they're going to, oh God, right? I just try to be relaxed. Okay, I don't have it, right? So my weight's still there. Got it. Okay, now I know I have that connection. So I'm thinking about that connection in general, okay? So now I have the connection. Okay, now I drop back. Boom, finished. Okay? So that's number one that we'll drill. Second is he's like, I don't like this at all. So he may try to get his chin into your ribs. Right? Okay. Well, that's going to be rather difficult, right? How am I going to drop my lat onto this side if he does that? Okay. So, well, I know that I have a connection here. Again, I'm going to try to bait. Maybe I'll come up and pull up, but I'm just trying to get him to turn this way. This will be the only time that I switch my hips. Right? So if he's here, again, I have this rotation on this opposite side arm. This guy. Lift, get low, up, okay, I know that I'm low, over, still don't have a pin, oh, there we go, okay? So I'm a noodle, but a smart noodle. If I'm on this side of his neck and I control this arm, it's going to be difficult for him to move. Not impossible, but difficult. I don't need to strength this. I just need to be smart about it, okay? The person on the bottom is going to give you all sorts of different looks. Different jaw positions, different tucking, different whatever. And what I want you to do is not strength, but wet noodle through to get that connection that we just worked on the bicep side. Yeah. On the bicep side, there's just no reason for that whatsoever. And then making that jaw go back to this position with the lat side. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3. I mean, because if you get your body in the right place, I think most of you would agree that it doesn't take much effort, right? Mm-hmm. Does anybody disagree with that? Damien and I were talking about like, it feels like you could be here, and it's like, oh, it's a half center off, and then you just that little bit, and it's like, right?
100%, yeah.
And that's what we're going for. That's why I say precise. If we're training 5 days a week, and you're almost 40 like me, you can't even afford to do things not precisely. Then you're going to be out on the sideline for all the time, right? So, okay. Let's talk about the secondary hand, and then, oh shit, okay. So, I found my way here, made that nice contact, and I found my way back to this position. Rotate. Okay. So, a good, with 10 minutes left, I'll just go into it. So, again, I would probably control either here or here, like, so he can't rotate either way, right? Like, if he tried to come up, this way, yeah, my lat's killing that, right? Because he can't face me. Then if he tries to go the other way, yeah. There's gonna be, yeah. I suppose I shouldn't just sit there and talk.
I'm good.
All right. Let me give him a second. That was really stupid of me. This is why Megan is not the Uki for this one, right? All right.
You see that again?
Yeah. Okay, so this arm is the primary thing that I'm worried about defensively. So if we were unwinding this, we would unwind it, well, the preciseness, right? So we want to somehow manufacture like space, and certainly we don't want that weight to collapse on our neck like that. Like that's kind of the death sentence, right? So he's going to be trying, so even if I get this, he's going to either try to push me away, or, this arm could be a real pain in the ass, because look what's happening. Look at my hips, right? I have to deal with this arm. Look at where my weight is. I'm not finishing this strangle. This is a fucking problem. It's an issue, okay? So what I try to do is one of two things. One, just like a guillotine, an arm in guillotine, I either try to trap it and then bring that elbow back home, okay? Or I try to get it the fuck out the way, okay? What I don't want is him fucking with my weight distribution, okay? I mean, you could come, if you left your head up, this is a real problem too, right? So we need to control that, and I need to realize that I'm strangling him halfway the whole time we're talking. All right. Came through, make that preciseness. Figured out how to utilize our body like a wet noodle to get into the proper space. He's using this arm. It's this far? Great. Scoop it. Okay? Now, you know what changes about this strangle? Nothing. Okay? Is it a little bit more difficult to get your weight in the appropriate position? Yes. But nothing changes about the principle. Okay? So again, now watch my weight. Same exact thing. Ready? Sorry, Nick. Easy peasy. Push it away. Same strangle. Okay? We're going to deal with that, but I want to drill the next thing because I just love this strangle. Okay. So let's say we're playing, and for whatever reason, I'm unable to settle my weight in the appropriate position, or I can't get this connection the way that I want it. Okay? Anybody good at triangles here? Anybody really like triangles? Okay. If you have a triangle, Nick, let me use you real quick. Here. Good triangle, right? I'm killing that artery. Nothing killing that artery currently, right? But if we would continue to move, we can get the calf on the other side. Does everybody kind of get that? We're going to do the same thing with our arm triangle. Go down. Yeah, this way. Okay, so I was unable to get this for whatever reason, okay? I'm going to bait him to go that way. No option other than to go that way, okay? And as he goes that way, go ahead. Boom. This comes up. My bicep comes down. No squeeze needed. Again, just a little bit of weight. Okay? Absolutely love this one because nobody really does it and it's sneaky as fuck. All right? When I did it to you last, you're like, what the fuck was that? Right? So let's see that again. I can't get the connection I want. For whatever, his shoulder's up. He's doing all sorts of different shit. But I am around his head. Can't get it, can't get it. Bait him. Watch. I can bait him to go that way. Look what I'm doing with my hips. Right? Shovel him. This moves. It was a noodle. So it can move. Okay? 45-degree angle. This artery's fucked. Huge bicep. This artery's fucked. And now all we have to do, we can collapse, we could grab, but look, I'm just adding pressure. Okay? Why is he holding that out? He knows what's going to happen. Okay? So, precise. This is the best, right? And then we can kind of compress in if we want. Well, let's do that. So, we're working two things. One, this arm, either scooping it, like a arm in guillotine, bringing that back home, getting it out of the way, or getting it out of the way, and then baiting, so the forearm goes on one side, the bicep on the other, and just lock it up. Okay, let's try that, and then Jay's class. All right, 1, 2, 3. Restaurant that had the cheese curds with me, I gave them a hug because, fuck, I'm so grateful to be able to do this. Like, everybody here, the energy, it's just special people. That's fucking cool. And like, I was feeling kind of sad that camp's almost over. Yep. And there's a whole other day, you know, like this is literally the exact middle of camp, right? Like, but like, I was feeling sad that it's almost over instead of appreciating that we're in the middle of it. And so I wanted to, you know, say I appreciate all of you, and I assume that goes for Megan as well, right? Yeah. Okay. I'll be here if you want, you know, to talk some north-south strangles or any strangles. All the strangles. If you guys are like, oh wow, it's really nuanced. I know you were like that. All strangles should be able to do painlessly and precisely. We don't have to. I'll almost never use the word squeeze. It's always compression, not extension, and being precise with that. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get a picture.